In most English vocabulary books in China, there is a word that always appears first: abandon. This word, which means to give up, seems like a coincidence, yet it might be a prophecy, and even more so, a collective memory for a generation. This setup encapsulates the emotional journey of non-native English speakers, starting with full confidence, struggling through rote memorization, and finally the thought of giving up emerging. This repetitive cycle has become a common psychological phenomenon in the learning process. The difficulty of communication between different cultures can be traced back to the ancient legend of the Tower of Babel. A group of humans, speaking only one language, once attempted to build a tower to reach heaven. To thwart this ambition, God confused their language, making it impossible for people to understand each other, leading to the collapse of the Tower of Babel. Language can serve as both a bridge that connects and a barrier that separates. There are approximately 7,000 languages spoken worldwide, from the widespread diffusion of English during the peak of the British Empire to the current solidification of the English-speaking core dominated by the United States. English is becoming the global language, poised to become the universal language. Amid the tides of globalization, English endows those who use it with a particular power: financial power, political power, and cultural power. For instance, in international conferences, English has become the default language of communication. In multinational corporations, English is essential for promotion and collaboration. In academia, English dominates the major publications and research outputs. English has become an indispensable medium for non-native English-speaking countries to participate in globalization. It serves as a passport, opening doors to broader opportunities, higher social status, and greater cultural influence. However, when Chinese treat English as a key subject for exams, rather than a tool for everyday communication, it implies that we are unconsciously accepting linguistic imperialism and witnessing the marketization of the English education system. The learning of English gradually shifts from a need for communication to a form of consumption, turning language learning into a means to acquire capital. The paradox of linguistic power is about both acquisition and loss. When an individual realizes that English, as a tool of power, is used to maintain a global cultural and political power structure, learning English is no longer merely about learning a foreign language, but about engaging in a power relationship. I attempt to gain power by mastering English, to break down unequal structures, only to find myself becoming a part of that structure. I call this the process of the dragon slayer eventually becoming the dragon.